Un Arceus divenuto materia esattamente...
Era troppo bassa l'inquadratura di
E rieccoci in live, ragazzi, ben trovati su Crystal Cross Gaming Box con un altro evento, il secondo della giornata, a breve distanza. Sono riuscito anche a finire un lavoro nel mentre, quindi è un miracolo che io sia in live in tempo, però ci siamo. Purtroppo sono arrivato proprio al photo finish, quindi sì. Ok, ci siamo e dovremmo partire. L'unico problema è che sul canale Mixer di Xbox, al momento, che dovrebbe essere quella, la fonte giusta del video, c'è questo. Ora, stanno...
But what does it cost? And across the stack, especially for the small developer or just starting out, to get those signals and start trying these
non lo
things
so.
out, the answer is free.
Capite? È un po' che sto cercando di seguire. Stiamo facendo un'altra cosa da un'ora, lo so infatti, e mi sto chiedendo se è il feed giusto, capito? Io credo di sì. Sul canale Xbox ufficiale su YouTube non c'è niente. Io ogni tanto darò un'occhiata anche al canale di Eurogamer che dovrebbe Xbox Game Stacks. E dove diavolo sta? Boh. Beh, questo è il canale ufficiale però. È assolutamente questo il canale ufficiale. No? Non mi pare che ce ne sia un altro. O comunque... questo qua. Canale proprio ufficiale Xbox. Verificato. Perciò... non lo so, stanno parlando di altre cose. Stanno parlando di altre cose da un po'. Quindi io sono sui canali ufficiali, ragazzi. Ora, non so, dovrebbe partire. Sono le 7:31.
Oh gosh,
non lo so, ragazzi. Avete un link diverso? Se avete un link diverso ditemelo, perché io proprio non lo so. Aspetta, Vedi che si conferma. È il canale giusto, ok. E allora ancora non è partito. Comunque, vediamo un po' che cosa sta succedendo. Io intanto ne approfitto per girare anche di qua. Neanche Eurogamer è in live. C'è l'hosting di un'altra cosa. E... ok, è il canale giusto. Ok. Quindi dobbiamo sostanzialmente aspettare. Ok? Non so, forse ha radunato tutti? Boh. Non ve lo so dire, ragazzi, sono rimasto un pochettino... perché dovrebbero esserci annunci ovunque, capito? Bla 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 bla. Allora, non dovrebbe essere un'altra live tecnica? Oddio. Sì, effettivamente... sì, ecco, immaginavo anche... io sono fermo qua su... esatto, anche su EveryEye fanno vedere la stessa cosa. Vabbè, io volevo soltanto la conferma che siamo sul canale giusto. Era la cosa veramente che mi premeva più di tutte. Perché sapete com'è, se finivo sul canale sbagliato era veramente un casino.
So you need to build those live services or get the, play fab to help you.
19:40? 19:40 quindi? Ok, comunque. Rimaniamo su questa schermata. Appena cambia qualcosa ovviamente ritorno sulla schermata principale. Comunque ce l'avete piccolina qui. Ok? Bene, allora, intanto vediamo che cosa ci possiamo aspettare. Il reveal del design, delle caratteristiche tecniche, di tutto quanto è già stato fatto. Ora, sembra che ci siano delle cose da dire su Project X Cloud e su questo onestamente sono anche molto curioso, ok? Che cosa aspettarci? Io onestamente mi aspetto delle cose carine da questo servizio in streaming, perché per chi possiede una Xbox questo qua dovrebbe dare la possibilità di giocare a molte cose anche fuori usando la stessa Xbox come server, e questo va bene. Ma anche per chi non ha l'Xbox, se vuole abbonarsi al Game Pass può utilizzare i due servizi in sincrono, quindi praticamente potrebbe non avere né un PC né una Xbox ma giocare lo stesso alla libreria Microsoft del Game Pass, dalla libreria Game Pass, quella ufficiale, il che sarebbe una figata. Andiamo a vedere se è veramente così, ok? E questo è quello che mi aspetto. Dovrebbe esserci un pochettino più di un po' più di cosette dette in questi contesti, però è quello che sappiamo. Ora stiamo ancora aspettando. Sulla nuova Xbox qualcosa hanno mostrato, hanno già mostrato un po' di giochini eccetera, hanno hanno tirato fuori un po' più di carte rispetto a PlayStation già, ok? Già qualche carta se la sono giocata, quindi della Xbox sappiamo già qualcosa in più. Questo sicuramente. E sono curioso di vedere che cosa mostreranno. Qualche gioco? Qualche cosettina nel mentre? Magari utilizzandolo come prova tecnica di qualcosa? Non sarebbe male, non sarebbe affatto male. Comunque, un saluto a tutti ragazzi. Ciao Ross, Forza Milan, Pasquale, Yusuke, Bella Manu, ciao Lori, Oscar, Nico, Pensiero Differente, Murde, benvenuti a tutti ragazzi, benvenuti a tutti. Dopo una descrizione che compara le due console, che si linko su Telegram dopo, ok, ma anche la comparazione tecnica ragazzi, attenzione perché vi può dare un'immagine un po' distorta del diverso feeling fra le cose, ok? Comunque qualcuno mi aveva chiesto per Half-Life Alyx VR, purtroppo io non ho il VR, mi era venuto in mente di prenderlo ma vista la malaparata e visti i problemi economici che tutti affronteremo, purtroppo è una di quelle spese che ho proprio dovuto rimandare. Comunque, ciao Serena, allora sentite, io però siccome comincia a essere 35, allora datemi un secondo, un attimino. Ne penso, questo è abbassato. Ok. Ok, va bene. Allora, sentite, mi sa che non vorrei che fosse già questo. Però a me pare strano. Vabbè, sentite. Seguiamo comunque.
Taken a lot of the hard work out to the point that this is a very kind of point and click, easy to adopt notion to protect yourself. There's no need to be intimidated by any of these things.
James Gwertzman, James Trott, Jesse, Christina, thank you guys so much for joining me here. This was a great conversation. And if you guys are just joining us right now, do not worry. You're going to be able to catch the VOD of this on our YouTube channel later on. I do want to thank everyone here. And of course, thank you guys in our Discord channel.
Mi sa che si stanno salutando adesso.
But now it's time to head on over to Ricari with a little more from you guys.
All right, I'm back in my corner, right where I belong. Now, before we get to our first indie dev showcase of the show, a reminder that we've got literally a metric ton of technical content on YouTube for you that's on demand, available right now. Now, that content has things from teams like Turn 10. Yesterday, if you caught, Dan Greenwald from Turn 10 joined us to talk all things Forza. You can also check out Shay Goldenberg's talk on Forza Monthly to see how live streaming can enhance your engagement with your players.
Ma vabbè.
Not to be outdone, David Paris from Playground Games talked about how they
ok, no, va bene, mostrano comunque tutto quanto qua.
With From Zero to 1000, a test-driven approach to tools development. Head on over to aka.ms/GameStackOnDemand for the full rundown. All right, we've got more great games to talk about. Industry-leading 3D content optimization from our friends at Simply Gone. They'll be showing how their new Python API, can be used together with the Adobe Substance Automation Toolkit to create smooth texturing pipelines. You don't want to miss out on this opportunity to learn from the masters at Simply Gone. All right, now we heard from the team at In Exile earlier today, and now we've got ourselves one more bonus.
Hanno parlato del panel di In Exile proprio adesso.
You can playtest a level, kind of. And like in isolation, I'm going to get a debug party that's set to level 15. I'm going to go jump into this thing. That kind of works, but it's really hard to really tell outside of the context of the full game. Like if every single encounter was nail biting, like a really strategic challenge, that can actually have a lot of player fatigue. Like if everything pushes me to my total brink and like my party almost dies in every combat, while any one individual combat, you'd be like, oh man, that was really good, that was crisp, mwah. But then in the context of the full game, if I had to fight 25 of those in the first couple of hours, that's exhausting. And there's a little bit of power fantasy too. Like in this fight, I actually want you to feel powerful. You are a desert ranger, you're a badass, you're a special operator, you're highly trained. I want you to smoke this group. And like narratively, it's gonna feel really good. We want you to like feel powerful, and then we wanna like slowly challenge you. You hit a peak, you fight a boss, that boss gives you a really badass weapon, and then whew, now you get to like coast down because now I have a frozen ferret rocket launcher. And I'm just, the next like 5 combats, I'm just dusting with this new weapon, and I feel like a badass.
Sì, stiamo ascoltando, ragazzi.
Start compensating, and I start hitting some friction, and then we build up again.
Tra l'altro stanno parlando di Wasteland 3, Ah! Voglio assolutamente la suite di Halo. È bellissima.
But tell us about, well, I guess we're going to welcome our guest here, Clayton. Clayton, are you there? All
yes,
right.
I am.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am doing great now that you're here, of course. Thanks so much for joining us in our virtual setting here. Now let's talk a bit about your game. I know you were looking forward to showing it off at GDC. Of course, circumstances didn't allow for that. But tell us a bit about Bartlow's Dread Machine.
It's this idea for a game that I had actually years ago. And it's one of those things that, you always have these things kind of like percolating in the back of your mind, things you maybe sort of like iterate on a little bit over the years. And this is one of those. This is something that maybe, gosh, over 10 years ago, I had this thought that, hey, what would a video game be like if someone created it over 100 years ago and they made it all out of tin with mechanical stuff? So I started thinking about that, but not just a shooting arcade thing, but the idea that it's like a real game. It has characters in it. They have upgradable weapons. They have a story that goes on this sort of adventure across all kinds of cool locations. And then, again, what would that be like if it was in this sort of giant, improbable device that someone made? And so, after kind of thinking about it and cogitating and doing a little bit of concept work,
non sono riuscito a cogliere di che gioco. Bartlow's Dread Machine. Non lo conosco per niente, ragazzi.
I published a game on ITA at Xbox, which was the Voodoo Vince remaster. And I think that's where I finally made this connection that, I could just make this game and put it out on ITA at Xbox. So, I partnered with a studio called Tribe Toy that's here in the Northwest sort of Seattle area. And so as sort of like my passion project, we've been working on it for, about a year now. And it's well underway, and we're out later this summer.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I actually watched the trailer, the announced trailer from a little bit ago, and I want to dive into the story. You kind of brought it up a bit of what would it be like if a video game was created a long time ago. There's also an interesting twist that was in the trailer of like the people who played it got injured. Can you dive into a bit more of what all of that means?
Yeah, so the creator of the game was this person I created named Arthur Harrington Bartlow. And Bartlow, of course, was like one of those like misguided people who had the best of intentions.
Ragazzi, allora stanno parlando di un gioco, effettivamente. Allora, qui non credo che sarà esclusivamente tecnica. Io mi aspetto delle cose tecniche, perché ricordate che è comunque all'interno della GDC. Quindi sarebbe dovuta essere la conferenza di sviluppatori di videogiochi. Però non è stata fatta per via del virus. Infatti vedete questo qua che si è connesso da casa. Questi qua stanno in studio, ma sono in pochi, sono tipo 2 persone a distanza, e questo sta parlando da casa. Sta parlando del suo gioco, di fatto, Bartlow's Dread Machine, che però questa volta, ragazzi, non vi posso aiutare, non lo conosco affatto.
So yeah, that's the notion of what we have going on there.
Come forma Xbox e PS5 saranno simili? Non ne ho proprio idea.
Describe the playstyle of the game, because that's something that really caught my eye, and I think that's something that's really indicative of a lot of ITA at Xbox games.
Yeah, it is in essence a classic arcade game. I mean, it's a twin stick shooter with single player and co-op modes. And couch co-op was super important to us, because I love the games that have allowed me to sit with a friend or a family member and just play a cool game or go on an adventure together. And that's one thing that we thought was super important, like thinking back on things like Castle Crashers, or any number of other cool games, even Cuphead, that allow people to sort of like just get together and pick up a couple controllers and just play something just splashy and fun and quick.
Yeah, so, and you're coming into the ITA at Xbox group with a unique perspective, and not just as a partner, but with a deep well of experience in the gaming industry. Now, going back to the creation of Bartlow's Dread Machine, how important is it for you to have a unique premise for a game, especially when it's an independent, like ID at Xbox.
Prima non ero sulla live PS5, quando parlavano di audio è una tecnologia molto vicina a quella presente ora nel PSVR. Non so se aveva averlo anche le cuffie audio 3D. Ok, sì, ne avevamo parlato.
Purely mechanical aesthetic where everything's got, gears and wires and struts. Everything sort of has this sort of physical justification. I mean, when you get under the hood of the gameplay, we took, if you were to think of it as a Robotron meets Pac-Man, there are little tracks you guide your character along. You have choice and you have movement, but you're also playing this basically a twin stick shoot. So you're just rotating your sticks and you're blasting away at the enemies. So we wanted to make the gameplay super accessible. Anyone can just pick up a controller, have a good time. But the little twist beyond that is the fact that the game is still three-dimensional. Even though it's sort of like 2D gameplay, we've tilted it into a box. So even though you're playing what you might think of as like an old school like Robotron game, when you tag an enemy that's like opposite corner from like another spot, there is skill. You actually have to like really think about those shots, and you really have to choose things carefully. And then the fact that it's three-dimensional means un twin stick shooter che vanno tanto in moda ora.
Beh, effettivamente a me piacciono. È il genere di gioco che mi piace in effetti.
Including the backdrops. I mean, everything in the game is made of tin. You can ultimately kind of lay waste to not only the enemies but all the scenery and things you see around you in the game.
Per quanto riguarda la forma e il design, Xbox ha deciso di cambiare in maniera abbastanza radicale.
And it was a thing that we thought would really help the game stand out.
PS5 secondo io ho la sensazione che rimarrà leggermente più tradizionale.
Just independent game development in general, we're seeing a lot of really cool ideas, and so I'm curious, in this world of maybe we have the power of Xbox Series X,
una presentazione di sviluppatori di videogiochi.
Where do you see independent game development as it stands to like these blockbuster games that are using the huge power of these consoles, and like where
Io spero che mostrino delle clip dei giochi, però almeno questo sì. Perché sono solo discussioni.
Playfield with a lot of room for everybody, obviously, and I love gigantic AAA games, but I do think the indie space is where you can try a new interesting idea. You can try something that you always wanted to try, or like with this, something that I just wanted to make for years. You find some like-minded people who maybe you think, yeah, that's a cool idea, let's go make that. And I think without taking, crazy amounts of risk, like Bartlow when he destroyed everybody, you can try that. You can try things that are maybe a little different, a little more daring, a little more, strange, if you will. And I do think that is where a lot of the great things do bubble up into tomorrow's AAA games. I think where this test lab where everyone can just sort of throw together some stuff and iterate quickly and be bold and be daring with their ideas is one thing you can do, I think, very effectively with a small team, especially thanks to the sorts of tools and technology that are available now. I think anybody can basically make a game who really wants to.
Yeah, let's talk about those tools. Talking about independent game development, I think there's a allowance for maybe more freedom in what you're trying to do, and part of that is being able to partner with ID at Xbox. Now, do you have any advice for devs who are looking to partner with ID at Xbox, and what was your experience like utilizing GameStack?
We haven't used a lot of GameStack yet. That's the new and coming thing, and our game's not out until late summer. So we're still looking at the sort of technology that we're incorporating, into our development process. I mean, we have a lot of our content done, but the question though about like what I would advise someone who wants to do like an ID game is it's part of it's the clarity of what you want to do.
Purtroppo le robe a maxi schermo non si possono fare semplicemente perché ragazzi non si possono fare assembramenti, è tutto chiuso. La GDC è stata cancellata, al posto di questa stanno facendo delle cose che dovrebbero sostituirla perché molti stavano preparando delle presentazioni e cose del genere.
You can usually just set those up depending on where you live online, and then there's an online application for ID. Anybody who lines up the right resources and signs up for that has a shot. Can make a game, and it can be on all these amazing consoles, all over the world. So it's I guess to me it's more about just kind of like having that vision, being able to drive forward with it, and being able to share sort of like that essential DNA of what it is you are doing with the people you're working with.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of to dovetail off that question. What has been some of your key learnings? You know, again, everyone watching, or a lot of people watching this, may be trying to develop a game for the first time. What are some other key learnings that you would share with them to really get them started?
Yeah, I think again, it starts with that thing I was calling the DNA.
Affittare una sala con 4 persone, però quanto costava?
I think that's sort of like the razor you use when you are making choices, because you know.
Esatto, domani c'è la demo di Resident Evil 3 sul canale, la vedrete sicuramente.
You can go down various rabbit holes. You can end up spending a lot of time on like really complex processes, or if you I guess what I'm saying is. Control know your scope and costs. You know what it is you're trying to do. Don't try to go too far beyond that. I mean, it's possible to put together things and get that magical combination of gameplay and technology that everyone says, hey, cool. But it's also very easy to overscope. It's easy to be overly ambitious. It's a thing where I think if you just again keep your eye on what that vision you have for that.
Resident Evil 3 non l'ho mai giocato, sarà un'esperienza nuova per me.
That will help you really kind of steer things correctly. And when you have a small team, it's easier to do. The communication's easier. Everyone's much closer to the game and the content and the processes. So I guess that's my main advice is to just
Comunque sì, cioè che Nemesis quello ne ho sentito parlare abbastanza.
Yeah, that
anche visto nei video di presentazione.
A small team, perhaps you're kind of forced to do that in some ways. Now I would love your experience. You have a very unique experience and background in the gaming industry, and maybe that's sort of also inspirational. Can you tell us a little bit about where you are as far as independent game development and just Xbox, anything that you can share with us?
Yeah. I mean, my job, actually, my role is I'm a creative director in Xbox Studios publishing. So, I mean, part of what I do is work with the external studios that are creating products for Xbox. But I go home and I work on games. It's just this passion of mine to still create things and make things, because I feel like that helps me do what I do, and that is to really understand the processes of making a game, what a team goes through, the psychology of what we do. I think it's very easy to
Ragazzi, allora, sta parlando sostanzialmente dell'esperienza dello sviluppo del gioco che ha avuto lui, e anche un po' diciamo dello scenario di sviluppo dei videogiochi in questo periodo, dello sviluppo delle idee, quanto è più facile, difficile rispetto al passato, eccetera. Stiamo parlando, questa è una sostituzione della GDC.
Yeah, and
di Racing 64, dove tirato fuori.
They want the opportunity. Yeah, they want the opportunity. Yeah, exactly. They want the opportunity to kind of learn from people who've been doing it for quite some time and whose main job it is. And so, just to circle it back to Bartlow's Dread Machine, where can people learn more about the game and where can they find it?
Yeah, you can just go to www.dreadmachine.com. That's the main sort of landing page. So there are links there to, there's the trailer, there's screenshots and some stuff you can look at there. Also links to the Tribe Toy site. They're a really talented group of developers, super passionate about what they are doing. And yeah, that'd be the main place to go.
I'm looking forward to the game, summer 2020. I'm telling you, that trailer caught me, and so I really appreciate your insights.
È che non mi ricordo il gioco, dannazione, perché almeno avrei potuto dare qualche info diversa anche a voi. Però se è un twin stick shooter dovrebbe piacermi.
Now from an example of what GameStat can do for indie titles to two people who play them. Kelly Ricari, tell me what you got.
Malik, I just got to say, first of all, what an outro you threw right there. Way to make people feel welcome. Way to make us feel welcome too. And yes, we do play our indie games.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think I've played through Stardew Valley like 4 or 5 times now.
4 or 5?
Yeah.
What did you think after the third? That's what I want to know.
Well, the multiplayer.
No, non è assolutamente ancora uscito, però il nome non mi è nuovissimo. Io però non me lo ricordo assolutamente.
You know what's my favorite one? #iDarb.
È stato presentato probabilmente.
It was a little 8-bit #iDarb. Yes, it draws a red box, I believe is what it ended up being called. Imagine like a 2D almost soccer game with, there was this old sludge bit that you're running around controlling a little pixel that is.
I think you're making this up.
I kid you not, it is out there. And as soon as we get our prompter back up to speed, we'll get you guys rolling with the rest of the show, because I see somebody who's getting set for our next talk. and it'll be a good time. But if you're at home and you're watching, I want to remind you guys, hop into Discord, let us know your thoughts, your questions. The show's going on and we're having a ton of fun with it.
Ori 2 è bellissimo.
All this came together last minute.
Devo ancora fare la recensione, mannaggia la miseria, non ho trovato il tempo.
Again, this event is called GameStack.
Comunque l'abbiamo finito su Twitch, stiamo pubblicando un po' alla volta le puntate qua sul secondo canale di YouTube.
Some of the tools and solutions that Microsoft has brought together for game development under one family, the GameStack family of solutions.
Robust tools and solutions like GameStack deserve much more time than we have to showcase them from yesterday and today, which is why we've created GameStack.com, an online resource to help you learn everything you need to know about GameStack. Whether you're looking for an out-of-the-box full experience or looking to engage in just one or two tools from the pack, GameStack has something for every kind of game and every development goal.
And remember, we're in Discord talking all things tech with our tech experts right now.
Speaking of goals, next-gen console gaming has been a goal for many of us in the last few months and many more going forward.
All right, this is it. This is the moment I've been waiting for to speak about the future of console gaming. Let's send it over to Brian with more from Project xCloud and Xbox Series X.
Ok. Bene, Project xCloud e Xbox Series X. Intanto eccola lì, sul tavolo. Ovviamente con Master Chief. Ah, guardate. Ho visto la presa SPDIF. Vabbè, c'è il lettore, c'è l'USB frontale.
Awesome. Thanks, Chief. I'll take it from here. All right. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Ricari. I have the pleasure of helping moderate this incredible panel today. So let's introduce our players to you. First up, we have Catherine Gluckstein, who is the GM of Project xCloud, responsible for product and strategy. Then we're going to have Jason Ronald, the Director of Program Management for the Xbox platform. We've got Rachel Carr,
il tipo col barbone enorme, me lo ricordo dal trailer di Project della nuova Xbox.
Everyone, welcome. Cool. Can we hear everybody? You guys on the phone? Can we hear us a little say hello?
Yep, we're here. Thanks for having us. Hey, Brian.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so got a couple of ground rules
today.
Distanza. Again, everybody, we're doing this live, so this is going to be a lot of fun. But as ground rules, just because we have everybody that is going to be on picture but no video, we're going to do a little bit of listening actions here. So I'm going to be asking questions, and I'm going to try and ask a question directly to a person. So when you guys get that, just give a second pause so we can make sure that we're not speaking over each other, but we're going to do the best we can. So with that, before we get into the meat of the topics, I want to give some context as to why each of you were chosen to be with us today. Catherine, let's start with you. Before xCloud, you served as Phil Spencer's chief of staff, bringing with you more than 20 years of product experience. How has that prepared you to step into this leadership role?
So firstly, Brian, I just want to say I wish I could be there in person, but as you know, all our worlds have been turned upside down by this crazy virus.
A me non dispiace. Il general manager Project xCloud mo sta parlando del suo ruolo, non sta dicendo ancora.
So, you know, really I've spent the last 20 years building a career that has sort of harnessed technology to evolve the distribution, consumption, and business models for content. And then about 3 years ago, as you rightly said, I joined Xbox as Phil Spencer's chief of staff. And I have to say, that was an incredible experience. I mean, Phil, as we know, is one of gaming's greats. He might blush if I say that, but it's, but you know, to have the experience to learn about gaming, you know, alongside him just gave me, you know, incredible insight into where this business is going. And as you know, Brian, we spent a lot of time looking to evolve the Xbox strategy during that period. It was where we
ragazzi, comunque sono presentazioni un po' più lentine, quelle che dovevano che sono al posto della GDC. Però siamo qua lo stesso perché siamo affamati di sapere qualcosa in più.
this strategy with an amazing team, really get to execute on that third.
Questa conferenza tecnicamente è per gli sviluppatori, non per i giocatori. Noi la stiamo guardando lo stesso perché comunque ci sono le informazioni.
You were part of the core team on Xbox Series X, and before that, you were with the Xbox Advanced Technology Group and Xbox.
Si è messo su Telegram il trailer del gioco che veniva presentato prima e stanno. Ok.
How has that influenced the way that you lead teams around Xbox Series X?
Thanks, Brian. Really, this is one of the most exciting times in my long history in the game industry, with the introduction of new disruptive technologies, innovative game design, and just totally new ways to engage with players. So I think first and foremost, it's really about listening to our customers. And when I say customers, I mean both gamers and developers. The voice of the development community is absolutely critical to everything that we do here at Team Xbox, and it really kind of shapes where we take the technology and the platforms that we deliver. And as a platform builder and designer, our role is really to empower developers to deliver on their creative visions, but by providing them with the best
stanno descrivendo i loro ruoli, la loro visione all'interno del progetto, cosa intendono fare e quale visione hanno per lo sviluppo della nuova console. Non c'è niente di...
Rachel, let's go over to you.
È molto la descrizione del loro ruolo.
The governor of South Carolina, and you also led an indie video game studio. How has your background given you maybe a unique perspective as the product lead for Xbox Series X?
Hey Brian, thanks for that. So I have a
In
really
comparazione con la console con la barba di questo tipo sono la stessa lunghezza. No, in realtà la sua barba è molto più lunga della console.
That I've had, both in my education and in my professional roles. The red thread kind of across all those is that I've had the honor to work with really great people and do really great things. When I worked with the Indie Game Studio, when we formed that, it was really about building, amazing experiences for gamers, and really digging deep to understand what would delight them and what experiences they would love.
Ok, tutta fuffa ragazzi, incredibile esperienza dei giocatori, bla 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 bla, ecco, facciamo delle cose bellissime.
When I worked with the governor, that was really humbling. It was an awesome experience. We were on a personal mission, both of us, to increase job opportunities, to help a really difficult
la barba nella scatola per attutire le botte.
And to my current role now, at Microsoft, it's our mission to strive to empower every person and every
Di Elder
organization on the
Scrolls
planet.
6 ragazzi, armatevi di santa pazienza, ci vorrà un po'.
And so for me,
Ancora
when I
un
think
bel
about
po',
product,
secondo me.
I'm grateful for my experiences, but really I'm most grateful for all of my team's experiences, because I think we all have very individual, unique experiences that shape the products we build. These products are a reflection of the team that built them, and we believe that in our core.
That's good. That's good. Now, Chris, let's finish with you real quick. You are a game designer by trade with over 25 years experience in the industry. Now, you've shipped titles like Forza Motorsport, Project Gotham Racing, Crackdown, I could go on. For those unfamiliar with the role of design and product development, would you mind elaborating a little bit?
Sure, happy to. Really, there's two primary roles. One is for the
E
customer,
adesso anche il quarto che descrive il suo ruolo. Intanto un saluto a tutti ragazzi, siamo una cinquantina, va bene così.
Unexpectedly fun, very purposely. Because frankly, when you're in an entertainment industry and you're making a game or you're playing that game, it's very challenging to, beat the expectation that somebody has when they expect it to be fun.
Ragazzi, capisco la delusione, ma era una presentazione tecnica, io l'ho pure scritto. Stavolta su Xbox non l'ho scritto perché non so effettivamente che cosa ci potevamo aspettare, ma di PlayStation era stato scritto chiarissimo, ho scritto pure io sul titolo. In test 6 metteranno davvero la signora anziana famosa che ci gioca? Aspetta, ma era di... Mi sa quella era di Schiari. Allora, potrebbe anche essere come cameo, come un NPC da qualche parte.
The second role for design, really amongst the team, it's really regarded as the discipline that helps tie everything together into
ma ci vorrà tempo,
pure,
PS5 da qui a Natale tutto il tempo, voglio farsi desiderare. Beh, comunque di Riff o di Raffa un po' di cose le abbiamo sapute, la presentazione di PS5.
And designers are really the ones pinned to, hey, here's where this can go, here's that vision, here's if this thing didn't go right, here's how we can pivot and still deliver an excellent customer experience. And in the end, whether you're an audio designer or game designer, combat designer, or UX designer, there's a bunch of different flavors. Your job is to deliver something focused, pure, and that takes the player on a journey and makes them feel something.
That's good. I feel like whenever I see design, we have this conversation all the time in the office, Chris. It's like good products start with good design. So I love having you on the panel. I think this is going to be a great conversation. So let's get started. Let's get at this. I know y'all have been waiting for this. Jason, let's kick off with you. There was some big news this week on Xbox Series X. Can you tell us how the technical advances allow developers to unlock new and innovative gaming
descrizione degli avanzamenti tecnici di Xbox Series X.
Absolutely. You know, this has been a really exciting week for the team. The team's been working really hard on Xbox Series X since 2016, and to finally be able to actually share some of the details of what we've been working on has definitely been a highlight for all of us. And, you know, as you mentioned on Monday, we shared many of the details of our next generation console. And it's really about enabling transformative gaming experiences that we've never seen in the living room. You know, in the early days of the planning process, the design of the Xbox Series X was really directly influenced by three key principles. Like I mentioned before, first and foremost is developer and gamer feedback. When I was leading the Xbox Advanced Technology Group, you know, the team worked closely with developers all across
Lo sviluppo di Xbox Series X è stato molto basato sul feedback degli sviluppatori. Ed è una cosa che abbiamo sentito anche con PS5. No, questa è la vera Xbox Series X.
And we really listened, learned, and helped them overcome the technology barriers that were really limiting their aspirations for the games that they were creating, whether that was in hardware,
è come se fosse un PC mini, infatti diciamo che ci ho montato sopra un paio di speculazioni.
The key aspect of it as well is gamers are also demanding higher and more stable frame rates. So we challenge ourselves to not only build a system that could reliably deliver high-quality 4K game experiences at 60 frames a second, but we challenge ourselves to go even further and to deliver frame rates up to 120 frames a second, frame rates that historically you never thought were possible in the living room. You know, so it was really about
guardate un po'. Quello che stavamo dicendo su panel PS5 si sta rivelando vero anche qua, ovvero stanno preparando le console attaccate a una TV a una realtà che nei prossimi anni probabilmente vedrà delle TV a un frame rate che permettono di avere un frame rate più alto dei 60.
Next generation graphics innovation and capabilities, things like hardware accelerated ray tracing or variable rate shading or mesh shaders. It's really about giving developers new kinds of tools to really build those rich dynamic worlds that players like to spend time in. And another great example of that is with the current generation, we're basically at the upper bounds of what's possible with a traditional rotational drive technology. And it was really constraining the game design that developers were having.
Credo che adesso inizieranno a parlare anche in questo caso di SSD. Gli sviluppatori stavano arrivando molto vicini al limite di quello che era possibile pretendere da un hard drive tradizionale.
We would need to invest in things like SSD level I/O performance or a revolutionary new architecture to make it easier for game developers and game engines to stream assets in real time from the storage solution into the memory and the CPU and the GPU.
Ma RTX 2060 non è fascia alta, è fascia media, probabilmente medio-bassa, allo stato attuale. Dovrebbe essere più potente di così. I conti che hanno fatto parlano di una performance che dovrebbe avvicinarsi a quella della 2080.
So as we looked into the future with new innovations like Project xCloud and game streaming, we knew we had an opportunity to make key decisions in the design of the system that could open up brand new possibilities for developers. And like one thing that we learned very early on as we started working closely with the Azure team is some of the same challenges that we have in delivering a high performance game console in your living room are the same kinds of challenges that we have in the data center. Things such as delivering high performance for gaming workloads while minimizing power consumption and thermal management. And having that vision of a future really helped shape how we designed our custom SoC that's powering the Xbox Series X and the overall system architecture so that we can
Sì,
make sure
vabbè,
that we're
ragazzi,
providing a
SSD, ma io da quando ho cominciato a utilizzare i primi non ho proprio più guardato indietro. Ho ancora degli hard disk tradizionali, ma li uso sostanzialmente per archiviazione.
And many of the technologies that we're innovating and incubating
No, vabbè,
with the Xbox Series X
quella di PlayStation è durata un'oretta, io mi aspetto che questa vada più o meno vada più o meno la stessa cosa. Ciao dell'Enix.
Wow. Yeah, Jason, this is blowing my mind. Like, having worked on the team for a while and kind of getting a chance to see
tassi senza touch sembra un po' datata. A cosa?
Looks like in person is kind of like shocking me right now. This is actually the first time I've actually kind of
Ok, guardate, vedete? Allora, la parte sopra, mo si è avvicinato, che così lo capiamo un pochettino meglio. È la parte sopra, lui sembra essere abbastanza piccolino come persona, quindi probabilmente il taglio della mano di uno che ha la mano un po' più grandina come la mia dovrebbe coprire la diagonale della console, quindi è più o meno di questa dimensione qua, facendo i conti.
As you're thinking about the development of Xbox Series X.
Sure. So, you know, there's certain scenarios,
Vabbè, considerate che potete fare anche il calcolo sulla dimensione del lettore CD. Si date la dimensione di un CD leggermente di più, perché comunque l'apertura deve essere un po' più grande, e fate i conti, cioè praticamente è 2 volte e mezzo un CD all'incirca. Le misure su Telegram, è vero, ci sono quelle definitive, ma me l'ho dimenticato. E comunque vederla dal vivo su un tavolo fa più effetto. Sì, un mini case, ma ci sono dei case, cioè tu puoi farlo un PC con questo formato, Io compro praticamente tutto in digitale già da anni. Solo raramente, per qualche caso, prendo la copia fisica.
Significantly alter their game or rewrite their game from scratch. We want to provide kind of a path as game streaming becomes much more prevalent and accessible. And ultimately, it's really about empowering developers to reach
bella, Yusuke, nessun problema, figurati. Ma comunque si può fare, Anzi, a chi dovesse interessare, sappiate che delle build per PC molto piccoline così si possono fare. Basta prendere i componenti giusti. Beh, because adesso la collega non giocando, c'è Minecraft Ray Tracing. Mi verrebbero in mente un sacco di altre cose a cui giocarci. Però devo ammettere che vedere Minecraft in Ray Tracing mi ha fatto specie. Come per esempio, cos'era? Doom 2?
You mentioned making technology decisions of what the hardware is going to be in this box. It's not like, oh, it's 2 months from launch, let's just put this thing in there. Like, there's a whole process to that thinking. Can you elaborate just a little bit on just some of the work that it takes to kind of think through where this is going to be in time?
Sure. You know, we really started the development of Xbox Series X in 2016, before we'd even released the Xbox One X. So, to your point on lead times,
lo sviluppo è iniziato nel 2016.
Years of investigation, of prototyping, of trying to figure out where the technology roadmap's going. Understanding from developers what their game design aspirations are. You know, there's entire new genres of games or new kinds of game experiences that, you know, have come up in the last 2 to 3 years.
Devo ricordare di mettere il bot anche in questo canale.
So a lot of it is really kind of that partnership with our development partners, both at Xbox Game Studios as well as the best creators all across the industry. But it's also making sure that we have a clear vision of where do we see gaming going as Team Xbox. And once again, you know, our goal is to get, Catherine mentioned earlier, you know, really reaching out to those 2 billion gamers all across the world. So it's like, how do we make it as easy as possible? And what are the investments that we need to be making so that customers all across the world can have the same great gaming experience that those of us who grew up gaming on consoles.
Sì, il bot, che serve per tante cose. Ma mi sono ricordato che non ce l'ho fatto.
That's good. I think it's a perfect segue as well. Let's dig into the next bit of this. We want to talk a little bit about Project xCloud. And Catherine, I'm going to bring this next question to you. Would you mind talking us through the approach of Microsoft bringing Project xCloud to market? And before you jump in, I'm going to, everybody follow me on the camera. This is going to be fun. We're doing this in real time. I have a server blade over here from Project xCloud that I also was so excited when I heard this was going to be here.
Un server Blade
an actual Project xCloud server Blade that is
su cui girerà Project xCloud, ovvero il servizio di gaming in streaming di Xbox, per chi non lo sapesse.
Like, the tech that went into this, the making of this is unbelievably impressive. Catherine, back to the question. Walk us through Microsoft's approach in bringing xCloud to market.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Brian.
Non l'avete potuto vedere, ma è appena calato un martellone.
Where's he going now? But you're seeing our Blade, and I mean, it is so cool. And it is, you know, Rachel said it earlier, our product's a testament to the amazing teams that build them. And, you know, looking at this, I just couldn't be more proud. So going back to what we believe the journey is, we think we are at the very beginning of a multi-year journey with streaming. You know, there is much more we don't know about streaming than we do know right now, and that's exactly why we came to market with our preview plan, where you'll remember, and it seems like an age ago now, but we started last October with just 4 games in preview, and since then
oltretutto io purtroppo non sono riuscito ad averci accesso, ma c'è una preview per pochi utenti attualmente attiva per provare Project xCloud. Ripeto, io non sono uno di questi, disgraziatamente, però chi l'ha provata, ci sono anche degli youtuber italiani che l'hanno provato, tipo Fraus, di Parliamo di Videogiochi, e ne ha parlato piuttosto bene.
And the learnings that we're doing together has just been mind-blowing. It just makes me so proud to be a part of this team.
That's awesome. And you mentioned just a moment ago the response from some of the game development community. Can you share a little bit about, like, how has it been working with game developers? What have they been saying in building for Project xCloud?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know what? I'm reminded actually back to a story. We spent a lot of time, obviously, talking with developers before we launched into preview. And every time we would go to a meeting with a developer, we would take their game running on a mobile phone and hand it to them to play. And at that point, there was always silence in the room, and we kind of would look around the room and think, well, what's going on? And then the partner would start sort of looking around the room and, you know, talking to their teams and saying, well, who worked on this? And it was very clear that no one had worked on it, because actually when you build for Xbox, you build for xCloud. And what we had done is just made the game work automatically for them.
Ok, allora, quindi chi sviluppa per Xbox automaticamente ha già sviluppato per Project xCloud, in sostanza.
Literally blew the developers away. So that's been absolutely fascinating. And then we've just learned, you know, so much about how gamers are using streaming, and basically, you know, we're seeing gamers play more across the board, which has been fascinating for developers. You know, they're not just playing more on xCloud, they're also playing more on Xbox and PC. And specifically, we're learning about different sort of genre types and what gamers who stream their games are enjoying perhaps more
Col passare del tempo hanno notato che i giocatori si muovono molto di più tra un gioco e l'altro, provano di qua e di là, il che ha portato a probabilmente alla fine la decisione di fare un servizio come il Game Pass, uno dei miei servizi preferiti in assoluto attualmente disponibili probabilmente.
To support native interaction, or some of the APIs that we're developing that provide device-side characteristics so that developers can optimize for the much smaller screen size. So as you can see, it's literally this symbiotic journey that we're on with our developers to really, you know, begin to optimize this experience. You know, when I talk to my team, I really talk about, you know, the speed of our learning cycles. Whenever you're bringing a new technology to market, it's all about learning. And the faster we learn, the better we're going to optimize this product.
Finora posso dirvi questo. Quello che si è visto è che stanno cercando di rendere agli sviluppatori la vita un po' più facile. Cosa si intende con questo? E come va tradotto in termini pratici? Ovvero, gli sviluppatori usano un sacco di risorse per l'ottimizzazione di giochi su console che già erano il loro target, ovvero per esempio metti uno che sviluppa una esclusiva PlayStation, ok? Quindi deve sviluppare solo per quel sistema. Però comunque la PlayStation 4 al momento ha delle limitazioni hardware veramente importanti, quindi tanto lavoro per spremerla per ottenere quello che si vuole al pari di quello che c'è in giro del mercato videoludico, che insomma, è di qualità abbastanza alta. Insomma. Quindi quelli sono soldi in più per lo studio di sviluppo che devono essere spesi. Quindi vogliono fare una console veramente molto potente, di modo che gli sviluppatori possono dire ok, invece di spendere mesi a ottimizzare il gioco per farlo girare su questo, con questa abbiamo molto più margine, possiamo permetterci altre cose. Il che è anche un risparmio, se non altro delle prospettive in più. Poi, con Project X Cloud hanno voluto dire agli sviluppatori subito che se state sviluppando per Xbox, il vostro gioco funzionerà anche su Project X Cloud senza dover fare niente o quasi. Quello è un ulteriore taglio di tempo e quindi di costi per gli sviluppatori. Il che vuol dire che si risparmia, si può dedicare più tempo al dettaglio, quindi dovrebbero essere giochi migliori o comunque più frequenti, che vuol dire poter sviluppare delle idee in maniera migliore, eccetera, eccetera.
Not so smart, grunts. That's always been a trade-off that's limited what you can do in the games, and from the fastest thing to
a proposito di cipolla, che benvenuto Mohammed, mi hai fatto venire in mente che ho fame.
Build a scene where you're fighting in water, and you have a bunch of these enemies, and everything reacts dynamically to things getting wet, right? They just look at you and they're like, yeah, we can't do the physics for that. Like, you need a CPU with some power to do that. And so
sta parlando giusto di quello che stavamo dicendo, delle volte che ha parlato con gli svilupatori e le idee che avevano erano incompatibili con l'attuale generazione di console o quasi.
We're going to allow you to do much better things with physics, like simulations, like those are the things that are going to allow games to
l'utilizzo della fisica può essere molto migliorato nei giochi.
As a publisher, I mean, there's certainly the bread and butter work we do, helping people understand the research that we've done into different regions if they want to know a customer that they're not familiar with in a different part of the globe, understand what their data pipeline and bandwidth is like in that region, understand where we think the technology is going, understand the shell experiences that we're going to build that are basically the stage for their title, right? Like they're building this pearl and we're this oyster to showcase that pearl. And really the publisher's job is how do you eliminate friction so that the game teams can just run at what they're really good at, and we can help support them with things that they shouldn't have to care about, right? They shouldn't have to care about building tools to allow them to look at how to optimize their engine and what's going on in picks, right? That shouldn't be their job.
Ancora questo in realtà succede sempre. Il loro obiettivo è rimuovere barriere agli sviluppatori perché possano semplicemente fare i giochi senza starsi troppo a preoccupare di tante altre cose. Vabbè, questo ogni generazione in effetti è vero, no?
That's good. And you mentioned as you're talking
through
this idea of this awareness.
Questa volta hanno fatto uno stacco bello grosso col passato quanto riguarda la hashtag Next Gen is here. Sì.
Maybe Jason, can you
guarda quello ce l'ha sul tavolo.
What does it mean to be streaming aware, building a game streaming aware?
Yeah, so like Catherine was talking about, today with Project X Cloud, we're kind of doing what we call lift and shift, which is taking existing games that were already designed and built for Xbox and being able to run them in the cloud with the title not even really being aware that it's running in a remote data center. But I think there's a lot of power and I think there's a lot of opportunity if the title actually knows whether or not it's being streamed or not. And in this case, we enabled console streaming on the Xbox One today. It's the same technology. Like if you're actually streaming from either your local console, you're streaming from Project X Cloud, what would you actually change in your game?
Porca miseria, questa è la barba più lunga dei miei capelli.
My game is actually streaming down to a mobile device. Maybe I originally designed my HUD or my UI for a 10-foot user experience on a large screen TV, but when I'm actually streaming it to a mobile device, maybe I actually need to simplify the UI or increase the font size so it's more legible and easier to read. You also think about situations like multiplayer. Like many multiplayer systems are designed with this notion of network latency and how do I keep people together? Well, if you knew that all your game sessions were actually all running in the same physical data center, you don't have to worry about ping times. You don't have to worry about network latency. You know, and one of the technologies that we announced earlier this week is dynamic latency input, or DLI. Not only did we build that so that we will have the most precise and responsive input possible. If you're playing a game in your living room, say it's a competitive esports game, or it's a game that's running at 120 frames a second, where input latency really matters. But that same technology will also be available in Project xCloud to allow a developer to actually measure their end-to-end input latency, so they can actually optimize or customize the input experience when they're actually streaming to a mobile device versus when you have a controller in your hands, as an example. So once again, when we really think about the continuum and how do we bring these things together, as we design and incubate and innovate in these various technology arenas, it's really about putting the power and the control in the developers' hands.
Se dovessi fare una sintesi di quello che ha detto finora, con Project xCloud stanno cercando di fare in modo che uno abbia l'esperienza che si aspettano di poter dare con Xbox, avercela comunque, linea permettendo, con il gioco in streaming. A dire la verità, questa l'ho già sentita. No, nonostante questo sono positivo per Project xCloud. Sì, li ho avuti i capelli corti, e come più volte nella mia vita.
xCloud and Xbox Series X. Now, Rachel, would you mind sharing a little bit about what is Microsoft's thinking behind this?
Yeah, Brian, I'm happy to. As we've mentioned, you know, gamers and developers are truly at the center of everything we do. And for gamers, you know, our vision is for them to be able to play the games they want, with the people they want, wherever they want.
Esatto, sono quelle dichiarazioni che uno si aspetta da chi ti sta presentando un prodotto, ovviamente.
So we're taking our cues from gamers, from developers. And as Catherine mentioned, you know, it is valuable for us to get these learnings and to constantly be learning about that. We know that gamers want more games, they want to play with more people, and they are playing on more devices around the world. And we know that developers are continually pushing boundaries, trying to reach more gamers around the world who are playing on more devices and more platforms. And so the Xbox Series X was really built for this evolving landscape of gamers playing on multiple devices, but also this thing that we're seeing happening with technology converging across console, PC, and cloud. We want both gamers and developers to feel unconstrained in this next generation of gaming. And so we are working
anche qua rimuovere le barriere al giocatore, questa l'abbiamo già sentita pure questa.
And so more specifically from a developer perspective, Jason touched on some of this in his previous comments. You know, we're really aiming to build hardware that unleashes their creative vision. We're empowering them to create how they want because they know what's best for them. And we're providing the tools they need for now and for the future. So this enables them to get their games to more gamers around the world, to more Xbox gamers around the world, whether they're playing on Series X, on PC,
Ti voglio con le treccioline alla vichingo.
I think it kind of sums it up, you know, the question you ask about, you know, either or.
Guardate che bella panoramica, mo proprio la state guardando.
Is the experience designed from day one, so it's better together. So I think you could kind of say our philosophy is an and philosophy. It's not an or philosophy. You know, we will lead with the flagship experience on our next-gen console, and we will extend that to players who want to play on xCloud.
You said something that's super important, which is this idea of better together. And
sì, ma anche a me piace l'estetica, sono uno di quelli a cui piace la direzione che hanno preso. A dire la verità, in generale, Microsoft nell'ultimo anno e mezzo, le scelte che ha fatto mi piacciono assai. Il monolite con la luce verde sopra, secondo me, farà la sua porca figura poi dal vivo proprio.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm so pleased you called on me, Brian, because I was dying to add one thing to what Rachel said, which was so perfect. It's really about this idea of choice, playing your games wherever you choose to play them. And we just had such a great story come in the other week from one of our preview testers. He's actually in the armed forces and he's currently deployed, and he couldn't take his Xbox with him. But he gets to play Destiny 2 through the xCloud preview. And I just think that is so absolutely perfect. And, you know, and really speaks to
ok, questa l'avete sentita, questa è una cosa carina. Praticamente, tra le persone che hanno avuto accesso a Project xCloud per il beta testing, c'è uno che è nelle forze armate e stava all'estero, ok? Cioè le comunicazioni erano buone, ma non è che ti puoi portare una console insomma, in un campo militare, cioè nella tua stanza, no? Però il cellulare sì, quindi aveva il suo bel controller nel suo stipetto, ci metti il cellulare sopra e praticamente ha potuto giocare a Destiny 2, che fa parte dei giochi attualmente in testing su Project xCloud, da una base militare in un paese non mi ricordo neanche dove, e avere comunque un buon feeling. Play everywhere, esatto, dovrebbe essere questo il concetto. Anche qui siamo un po' blasonati, tipo giocate dovunque, senza limiti, senza cose. Io mi aspetto che poi la realtà sia un pochettino meno idilliaca di così. Però onestamente, cioè, la cosa più bella è che i giochi dentro Project xCloud siano comunque coperti da un eventuale abbonamento al Game Pass. È quella la differenza grossa. Oltretutto mi sa tanto che chi ha il Game Pass Ultimate abbia automaticamente accesso a Project xCloud. Non mi ricordo se l'hanno detto così o è soltanto un rumor.
Well, to Catherine and Rachel's point around choice, when you look at it from the player's perspective, players love games. What would they choose to do if you handed them a time travel device? Right, which is effectively what you do when you give somebody a cellular phone, right, or something that they can take with them, because they can't always sit in front of their PC or their laptop or their console to play the game that they so desperately want to play, right? People get
Comunque stanno continuando a parlare di cellulari,
this is what they want to do,
il che vuol dire praticamente che stanno puntando, secondo me un po' che ci penso, secondo me stanno puntando tanto sul cellulare perché vogliono buttarsi, cioè vogliono fare questa cosa di buttarsi nel mercato mobile senza sviluppare per forza dei giochi mobile, ma dicendo ma giocateci dal cellulare, tutti i nostri giochi. Cioè, come concetto è questo, no? Penso che molti ragazzi sarebbero felici. Effettivamente non sei sempre a casa, sei altrove, però il cellulare quello sì, ce l'hai sempre dietro. No? Anche se non sei davanti al PC o davanti alla console, potessi essere altrove davanti a una TV e potessi non avere comunque accesso, ma il cellulare quello ce l'hai sempre. E stanno puntando tanto su questa cosa, mi sa tanto che il supporto ai cellulari sarà pressoché universale con Project xCloud, anche perché Microsoft, a differenza di Google, ha molto meno interesse a promuovere i suoi device e ha molta più esperienza in questo genere di cose, perché è nel gaming da un po' Microsoft. Comunque ve lo ripeto, quello che stiamo guardando è uno dei server di Project xCloud. Vedete questo scatolone così? Sono queste cose che vengono inserite tipo immaginate i giganteschi frigoriferi versi con si chiamano unità rack, sono di 19 pollici, è una misura standard anche nell'audio. Infatti io in studio ho delle unità rack da 19 pollici. No, a parte che no, non è vero. Mi sa che per i server è diversa la lunghezza. Mi sa che vi ho detto una minchiata. Sono praticamente degli slot che vanno inseriti e ce ne sono diversi. Capito? In un data center ci sono tanti server uno dopo l'altro che vengono messi uno sopra l'altro e possono essere collegati, cioè possono essere impiegati sostanzialmente quasi ovunque. Impilati sì, ma sempre con dovrebbe esserci tipo un dito, due dita di spazio per il ricircolo dell'aria, che è estremamente importante nei data center.
Oh, there's a lot. For the user, I mean, there's literally like, hey, what's the type ramp and how do you make it work in multiple locations?
Ma in chat stanno scrivendo che effettivamente c'è la beta dell'applicazione per iOS. Per esempio io che ho l'iPhone, no? Quando uscirà Project X Cloud con tutta probabilità ci sarà l'applicazione per iPhone, come per Android assolutamente ci sarà. L'applicazione è un po' ovunque. Sostanzialmente è veramente play everywhere, dove cavolo ti pare a qualunque gioco. 5 centimetri però attenzione dovrebbe essere lo spazio dell'unità, non dello spazio del ricircolo dell'area, perché 5 centimetri sono tantini per il ricircolo dell'area tra uno slot e l'altro. Dovrebbe essere un po' di meno.
When we talk to gamers, the number one thing that they say is, hey, I wish I could spend more time gaming, I just don't have enough time, and it's even harder for me to find crossover time with my friends to play together, right? That's the problem that they would love help solving.
Posso dire la mia esperienza con quelli per l'audio, la lunghezza sono 19 pollici. Ok? Infatti si parla sempre di rack 19 quando compri delle unità che sono in questo formato, ed è universale perché poi le dimensioni così sono usufruibili da tutti in qualunque circostanza. Questo però per l'audio, per i server non mi ricordo qual è.
Having your UI have an understanding of what a player has been doing across your game is really, really important, because then you can showcase that even within the game.
Piuttosto, noto che stavano scrivendo in chat un'altra roba, ma mi è venuto in mente. Adesso che stanno parlando di queste cose, il cross save come sarà? Cioè, vedi che io sto giocando a Halo sulla Xbox. Poi devo uscire, devo prendere il pullman per un'ora, no? O devo andare in treno per un'ora e mezza. I dati ce l'ho perché magari sono coperto dal 4G piuttosto bene, ho i giga. Voglio continuare a giocarci sul treno. Il cross save? Immagino che sarà implementato. Halo ho fatto l'esempio proprio del gioco Microsoft.
Let's take that conversation a little bit.
Ma per gli altri?
Let's go a little bit more into our journey with developers.
Vabbè che per esempio nel caso di Steam ormai tutti i giochi hanno il salvataggio in cloud.
I'm curious, Jason, like what is the approach Microsoft has taken in the journey of working with
Sì, tra One e PC assolutamente.
So hang tight.
Quello c'è, l'ho verificato con Ori.
It's actually kind of funny because Catherine and I
Aspetta che sto vado a mangiare, figurati, pensieri differenti, dai, ci becchiamo presto. Seguimi anche su Twitch perché sono in live molto più spesso lì. Il link è qui sotto in descrizione.
We really kind of talk to developers and lay out kind of our vision for the future and how we can help them deliver on the experiences that they want to provide to their players. So that means a consistent hardware platform between what's happening in the console ecosystem and what's happening in the game streaming side. It's a common software platform, common APIs. The vast majority of the code that game developers actually write should be reusable across the cloud, across the console, across PC. So as we've updated our API designs and our app model, we've really designed it so that it can work across multiple devices. And then really where we want developers to spend their time is focus on their game, making their game experience great so that players have a great experience, and then really kind of tailoring it to the unique capabilities of how they choose to deliver it. Simple things such as if I'm playing on a console, clearly I'm going to, prioritize or lead with controller-based input. But if the same game is being played on a PC, keyboard and mouse is critically important. Or maybe in a Project X Cloud scenario, it's more about touch controls or making it easier for a player to play there. So, it's actually been
con quarantena forzata finiamo tutti i giochi che hai droppato. Beh, considerando che voglio aggiungere una seconda live giornaliera, ma quelli droppati proprio li ho droppati perché non voglio continuarli. Quelli che ancora non sono riuscito a continuare, quella è un'altra questione.
And hearing their feedback, telling them here's where we see things are going, getting the feedback directly from them, and then adjusting and altering our plans, because at the end of the day, we all just want those same great gaming experiences. And as Rachel and Chris and Catherine have said, it's really about making sure that the players all across the world can have these same great gaming experiences, and doing it in such a way that we make it as easy as possible for developers.
that's awesome. And I almost want to touch on that again too. You said something that was really interesting about working with developers, and it's this idea of like we have all of these developers who are coming and watching GameStack Live right now and are participating in their Discord channel.
Mario Rabbids, diciamo che ha una possibilità abbastanza concreta.
Today, and they're wanting to think about the next generation of hardware, the next generation of streaming. Like, what are some advice, some tips that you give in like, hey, this is what we've experienced working with game developers today. Here's some ideas of how to think about that. Maybe Jason, you could start there, and then Catherine, we're going to come over to you.
Sure.
I think the core of it is,
honestly, just keep building games the way that you always have been building games. If you're building a game on PC today, we've made it very easy to take a PC code base and get it running on console or getting it running in the cloud. We partner very closely with all the industry's leading middleware providers and engine providers to make sure that they're optimized to take full advantage of what we deliver, whether it's hardware capabilities or some of the services that we have with Xbox Live and Azure PlayFab. And it's really about the part that's really exciting about this industry, and part of the reason why I love this industry, is it's the marrying of creativity and technology. And that's the thing that the game developers all across the world, whether it's the largest studios working on a AAA blockbuster or small super creative independent creators, it's about the creativity and it's about the worlds that you want to create and the experiences that you want to deliver to players. And it's our job at Team Xbox.
Ma no, non ci sono novità vere e proprie, ci sono conferme e precisazioni di cose che in realtà già in parte sapevamo. Però in compenso hanno fatto vedere, guarda, è lì sul tavolo, la Xbox Series X, e quello che stanno inquadrando, per chi è arrivato adesso, è un server di Project X Cloud.
Building for this next generation of hardware, building for this next generation of streaming.
Yeah, I'm just going to start. Jason said it so beautifully. We often go out together, and exactly what just happens. Jason just says it so beautifully that I just kind of need to go, it's what he said. But I'll try and add to that in that, as we talked about before, this first step of the journey that we think we're on is what we're calling lift and shift. It's the convenience of developing for the Xbox that then magically works in the cloud. And that's a really important first step. And then Jason took us through it earlier, and I also talked to some of the touch controls and APIs we're building around sort of providing more information about whether the game is streaming. And that is the next piece, which is the cloud aware piece, which just allows us to optimize games. An important point that we probably haven't touched on so far, but is absolutely something that we're thinking about, is this concept of what we're calling cloud native games. These are games that no longer just use the resources of the local device, but harness the full power of the cloud.
Ok, stanno pensando che in futuro potrebbero anche esserci dei giochi che tecnicamente sono nativi cloud, ovvero che sono ottimizzati proprio per girare sul server e basta. E vabbè, un po' alla Stadia, praticamente, se ci saranno mai delle esclusive Stadia. Sì, questa c'ha l'accento un sacco inglese.
This idea of frictionless play, and therefore what that meant for the numbers of people who could play together.
Comunque, stanno girando intorno sempre allo stesso concetto. Il concetto è, per spiegarvelo bene, è, ok, sono davanti alla TV con la mia Xbox che sto giocando a un gioco. Devo andare via, devo fare mezz'ora di pullman da un'altra parte, vado via, sto col telefono, continuo a giocare allo stesso gioco tramite Project X Cloud. Sono in sala d'attesa da qualche parte, continuo a giocare col telefono, vado a casa di un amico, loggo con l'account dalla TV, tramite, se è una TV smart, attacco un controller che magari ho nello zainetto da qualche parte, eccetera, e posso giocare lì, sempre continuativamente. Poi torno indietro, devo prendere il treno per tornare, davanti al treno gioco lì, torno a casa, mi rimetto davanti all'Xbox, sto continuando la partita. vita.
as we meet with
Dovrebbe essere questo il concetto. Questa non è una vera novità, il concetto l'avevano espresso sempre, però se stanno continuando a batterci così tanto è perché proprio vorrebbero dare questa esperienza alle persone, secondo me.
Catherine, could you maybe touch on just for a second, like, where do we see this all going? We always talk about how we want to put the gamer at the center. We want to make sure that they can play the games they want on the devices they want with the people they want. Like, how does this all kind of play into the larger mission at Microsoft?
Yeah, no, well, I don't know that I can speak to the larger mission of Microsoft, but I can certainly speak to how we view the vision as a team, which is it's all about ubiquity. Your game should be available to play on any device at any point that you choose to play, and the community and all
di nuovo il concetto, il concetto che stanno dicendo agli sviluppatori e che stanno facendo in modo che quando loro sviluppano un gioco dovrebbe essere giocabile su qualunque diavolo di superficie, controller, attrezzo possibile, TV, telefono, portatile, console, PC desktop, tutto in maniera, diciamo, molto immediata. Sì, e continuano a batterci sopra, sembrano proprio convinti di questa caratteristica. È per questo che sono curioso di vedere come va a finire, ed è per questo che un po' questo Project X Cloud mi interessa, anche se sono un tipo che sta sempre qua e c'ha in locale tutte quante le console, tutte le piattaforme. A me non servirebbe un piffero, però mi interessa testarlo, sono proprio curioso. Sì, per prendere veramente piedi impiegherà qualche annetto, però magari intanto, e secondo me la loro mossa intelligente, vogliono che il cloud non sostituisca ma diciamo compensi le console nella loro limitazione di dover essere attaccate da qualche parte e di far girare i giochi in locale. No? Secondo l'esempio che avevo fatto prima, finora è l'approccio più intelligente che ho sentito per il cloud. Quindi anche dal frigorifero il mio iPad interno, quindi anche da lì ci posso giocare. E lì è un po' poco probabile, ma se hai un iPad e lo metti sul frigorifero ci puoi giocare.
You're going to tell us, right? And so if I, put myself in, my own shoes a long time ago, I won't age myself. I think it would just be jump in, right? Jump in, work with us, reach out to us, help us learn what we don't know, help us figure out that to reduce that friction, to help you be able to deliver those creative visions, especially as we think about developing for both console and cloud.
Stanno ribadendo anche un'altra cosa: rimuovere tutte le barriere che gli sviluppatori hanno per far sì che le persone giochino ai loro giochi nella maniera che gli pare, dove gli pare, come gli pare. Stanno alla fine, dai, sempre girando all'intorno, però Riccardo sembra proprio, intanto ben trovato, sembra proprio che Microsoft si sia presa la sua rivincita, ma è ancora presto per dirlo, mo vediamo, però le mosse che sta facendo nell'ultimo periodo mi stanno piacendo, sto trovando promettenti le mosse che sta facendo adesso per la nuova generazione, e mi sa che ci dovremmo aspettare delle cose belle, ma con il fatto della diffusione del Game Pass, che ritengo al momento uno dei migliori servizi videoludici esistenti proprio, secondo me stanno puntando al fatto che la gente abbia il loro abbonamento a prescindere, ok? E la Xbox sia ovviamente una console su cui tengono, perché non si può sempre avere tutto quanto in cloud, secondo loro, però insomma stanno puntando tanto sugli abbonamenti. Ripeto, ho sentito che Project X Cloud sarà incluso con il Game Pass Ultimate, per esempio, quello che ho io. Mi sa che dalle 9 in poi vi parleranno proprio di Series X, o sbaglio? No, ma in realtà hanno parlato di Series X un pochettino. Mi toccherà vedere poi nei fatti. Adesso anche Google Stadia sembrava una bomba sulla carta, già. No. Curioso di Sony come si muoverà da questo lato, infatti.
So I think there's that, and I think the other thing too is just with, you know, there's times where there's a member of the team who she mentioned, you know, with Xbox One X, it was like getting
Ciao Sobuco, aspetta, non l'hai mai stata a cosa ti riferisci? Mi sono perso il collegamento tra il commento e quello che ho detto. Anch'io sono curioso di vedere come Sony si muoverà da questo lato, anche se forse ora come ora ne ha un po' meno l'esigenza, perché la forza di Sony sono i giochi che sono esclusiva, anche se sempre più temporale. Ah, Stadia? Lì per lì quando l'hanno presentata sono rimasto un po' sbalordito anch'io, poi all'atto pratico però si sono rivelati dei limiti veramente importanti. Quello principale secondo me è che tantissime persone l'avevano inteso, me compreso all'inizio, come un servizio in abbonamento. Cioè, tu ti abboni e ci sono dei giochi a cui puoi giocare. Sarebbe stato molto meglio. Ma in realtà è quello che sta facendo Microsoft adesso. Sì, qualcosa hanno in mente sicuramente perché hanno potenziato il PlayStation Now. Allora ce l'hanno già, anzi sono stati uno dei primi ad avere questo tipo di servizi. Tecnicamente adesso puoi giocare a God of War su PC. Differenza di 2 teraflops dai 12 Xbox Series e i 10 PlayStation 5 si sentirà secondo me non così tanto, ragazzi. Non pensate che sia poi così differenza, così diversa la potenza grezza.
That's so good. That's so good. All right, I think we're getting tight on time, so we're going to do what's called the lightning round. We have a set of questions we're going to ask every single person here. What are the most important things for a game developer to take away from this conversation today? Rachel, let's start with you.
Okay, I'll try to be super quick since you said we're tight on time.
Secondo te perché Sony ha mentito fino a ieri su teraflop? Beh, allora, non mi ricordo che comunicazioni aveva dato a riguardo proprio precisamente prima. Il numero esatto di teraflop l'ho sentito per la prima volta tipo poche ore fa. E forse aveva arrotondato, non lo so, non ne ho idea onestamente del perché l'abbia fatto. Però io continuo a ripetere, non credo che alla fine la differenza si sentirà poi così tanto. Onestamente credo che il giocatore medio la differenza non la noterà.
That's good. That's good. Chris, let's go over to you. What is the most important thing a game developer should take away from this conversation?
You know, I was really hoping to talk about what we've learned in relation to input and skill ceiling. Right? Like if you tell everybody, hey, we're going to pack a stadium of people to go watch tic-tac-toe, that wouldn't be the case because the world championship of tic-tac-toe is going to be boring because there's no skill ceiling, right? It always comes out as a tie. And as we've gone down this route and looked at what the new generation of people growing up learning how to use, you know, play games on glass natively, which is different than certainly how I grew up, you know, playing games on mouse and keyboard and with the controller. People can play games on glass to a degree and a fidelity which allows a skill ceiling, which is actually pretty incredible. And it was, you know, 2 years ago when we kicked off our journey looking at that.
Ragazzi. Queste cose non le dico abbastanza spesso in realtà. Iscrivetevi se non siete ancora iscritti, se vi va ovviamente, ragazzi. Io non avendo mostrato niente nemmeno come è fatta, posso sempre aumentare la potenza. No, adesso è troppo tardi, Manu. Nel senso, se hanno fatto tutte le dichiarazioni tecniche vuol dire che la console è quella. Fine. Anche perché gli sviluppatori lo devono sapere per i giochi che stanno facendo. E quindi ci siamo. Dal punto di vista tecnico è chiusa. Entrambe le console ora circa meno quasi le conosciamo.
Yeah, absolutely. What I would say is, look, embrace the new, be open to learning, and don't constrain your thinking by frameworks that existed in gaming previously. I think we're in a period where we are rewriting the rules of traditional game development, and I think that's such an exciting period with huge opportunity. And the only way that we can really, leverage that is by being open to any amount of possibilities and just increasing those learning cycles. So be open to the new. That's my main takeaway.
That's good. And Jason, what is the most important thing a developer can take away from today's conversation?
It's kind of funny. I'm like Catherine. Everybody else said it so eloquently. I don't know how much more I can add. I guess the only thing that I would add to what everybody else has really talked about is just focus on the player, focus on the gamer, just really focus on how can you delight that player. You know, the need to play is just a fundamental human condition.
E di nuovo ragazzi, alla fine, se vi devo sintetizzare quello che stanno dicendo, sto girando intorno sempre alla stessa cosa. Sempre.
And so as long as you're focusing on the player, we're here to help in any way that we can. We want the feedback from the community, both players and developers. But as long as you're focusing on the player, I don't think you can really go wrong.
That's good. Man, so good. Well, thank you guys so very much for joining over the phone. It has been an awesome chance to talk with this. That's it for us. Malik, Kelly, over to you.
Eccola va.
He took the console. Oh. Anyway, thanks, Brian. Well, Kelly, if you want to know more about next-gen hardware and what it can do in the cloud, we can all cross that off the list right now.
Indeed. I could not be more excited, and that was such a great conversation. What do you
Allora,
guys think?
effettivamente alcune parole sono simili a quelle dette da Stadia, ma arrivano da un background di uno che già produce le console e che ha un Game Pass. C'è una bella differenza.
That's true. Anyway, oh, sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
Xbox Series X.
Thank you.
So everyone out there, head over to our Discord and let us know what you think about it and tell us about all the things Xbox Series
credo che sia
X and
finita
xCloud,
adesso.
which I'm super excited about. In any event, in fact, we've got some teams from some of our favorite games in chat as well.
That's right, like Age of Empires. I'm so excited. That's actually my favorite game of all time, Age of Empires 2 specifically.
Really?
Yeah.
Volete Sony che sta temporeggiando troppo con le presentazioni oppure è stata Microsoft a anticipare troppo? No, stanno facendo le loro tattiche di mercato, le hanno pensate a lungo quando questi sono eventi grossi, stanno prendendosi i loro tempi, quelli che hanno deciso di prendersi, ragazzi. Quindi è la loro tattica. Probabilmente Microsoft ha qualcosa in più da dimostrare rispetto a PlayStation, che ha senza dubbio venduto di più console in questa generazione videoludica. Quindi Microsoft diciamo che ha del terreno da recuperare, quindi diciamo che mette le palle sul tavolo prima degli altri. Piace questo paragone Oxford. E riguardo alla retrocompatibilità, a differenza di Sony, però Microsoft ha una retrocompatibilità molto più ampia e quindi sostanzialmente quasi tutto quello che è mai esistito per Xbox originale, 360 e One arriverà tutto prepotentemente dentro Xbox Series X, più o meno, ragazzi.
It's incredible just learning kind of what GameStack is, and if there's any developers out there that are just kind of joining right now and don't know what it is, check out GameStack.com. Also, our YouTube is going to have VODs available of all of the talks and panels that we've had over the last 2 days. So if you did miss it, if you're just joining us right now,
sì, è vero, Sony ha più esperienza con le console, vero.
Soon, we keep saying soon, but
però,
like maybe a TM soon.
Sono 26 anni, quell'altro è 18, mica 3. Giochi originali andando su Xbox Series X. Allora, normalmente da quello che io paradossalmente l'Xbox ce l'ho, ma non l'ho mai provata sta cosa, sempre usata in digitale, non ho mai inserito un disco nella mia Xbox One. Però dovrebbe.
Someone has taken Jason's and doctored a bit. A huge thanks to Enrivo for this. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so Jason, let me just say something.
Ma che minchia.
So Jason has one of the most glorious beards I've ever seen in my life.
It really is. Even just like the length, the pattern of it, how like half of it's gray, half of it's dark, but you also have that strip of gray down the dark. Like, it's really cool. It's very
very deliberate and very regal. I don't know what the word would be. I don't know, but
I like regal.
It's really cool to see.
Ciao Roberto, no, era sì, non è comparso Phil Spencer, no, per niente. Infatti, vero.
Great team, and so this is really cool to see. And I think we have a few more tweets, in fact. So let's see what we've got.
Come con il meme di ieri del frigo, sì, ma ne sono comparsi un sacco. A me il meme di Schwarzenegger in comando mi ha dato l'idea per l'unboxing, ormai lo sapete, no?
A picture on Monday of to scale an Xbox Series X console.
Made in Microsoft, sì, autoironia bellissima.
All right, so we have another tweet from one of our Xbox MVPs, in fact. This is Simon Darkside. It says, my favorite quote from the team, let's look back at here, because this is easier to see. My favorite quote from the team at GameStack Live today is this. Something else you should know. The same team that solved the amazing technical feat of Xbox 360 back compat is also the team that created, Project X Cloud. Awesomeness to the max. Ooh. 100%. So just to give a note on that, back in E3 2015, we announced Xbox 360 backward compatibility on Xbox One, something that wasn't possible, but thanks to the amazing engineers and teams here at Xbox, we were able to make it happen. And so they are working on Project X Cloud. It's going to be fantastic, lots of solutions, but I'm super excited to see all of that.
It really is exciting, just to like how.
Ok, vabbè, quelli che hanno lavorato alla compatibilità tra 360 e One stanno lavorando a Series X ovviamente, ma anche all'implementazione delle stesse tecnologie su Project X Cloud.
I think actually my favorite part might be this next conversation that you're going to be having with Double Fine.
You are a huge fan.
I am.
I'm very excited.
Between Grim Fandango, you have Psychonauts 2 that's coming out this year. And then, of course, I think Brutal Legend does not get as much love as it deserves here. But let's go back on to our tweets here. Right. Xbox Series X plus Project X Cloud equals new chapter in game. Hey, new chapter, the evolution. That's pretty much what I was saying. Thank you. NES bot fee. What? Oh, is that a bot?
Love that.
Oh, okay.
And did Ricari pay to get his tweet up here?
I think
Unbelievable.
So. I heard him talking a little bit back in the production, but he's like, you guys better put this up there. You gotta show my. Although it is really cool, the shoes with the shirt. And I do believe that we yesterday heard that some people were asking, how do we get these shirts? How do I get this jacket? Well, I don't know. That's the answer.
I was going to say, does Kelly have an answer that I don't know about?
You know, if you complain enough, maybe something will
Grim Fandango, sì, vabbè,
I heard it in my ear that Ricari definitely did pay for this free promotion, in which case I would like to know how much that costs, because I would like to do that as well. Anyway.
Well, everyone, now it's time to check out one of the most creative ecosystems in the gaming industry that has helped propel a dev team to gaming glory. Here now, what drives Double Fine?
Ah, e questa adesso... Oh! Aspetta, come World Premiere? Non me l'aspettavo, un attimo.
If we were making a list of priorities for the company, the word at the top of the list would be creativity. That's something we like to see in every game that we make, in everything that we do, whether it's our business or,
Team Schaffer,
I don't want to say creative finances. That probably sounds bad.
Ah no, vabbè, comunque credo che sia... Ok, sì, vabbè... è una sorta di videopresentazione di Double Fine, che è la ditta produttrice di tante belle cosette in realtà. No, infatti quando ho letto World Premiere mi sono un attimo triggerato. Ma aspetta, cosa?
Thinking outside of the box, access to a counterculture you may not necessarily see in games.
Ah, questi sono tutti i giochi di Double Fine.
To play games that are different and unique.
I started the company because I had an idea for a game, Psychonauts.
Però c'è Psychonauts 2 che dovrebbe essere carino, sì.
Doing my ideas for 10 years and there were so many creative people at the company. How do we get everybody's ideas?
Dovrebbe uscire quest'anno.
So we took a break during Brutal Legend and we split the whole company, 60 people, into 4 smaller teams, which seemed crazy at the time. Like, first of all, we're going to stop working on this game, which is, it's not like it's ahead of schedule. We're going to make a game in 2 weeks. That sounds crazy. But out of it came these amazing little game demos. And we liked it so much we did it again in a year or so, and it was amazing.
Amnesia Fortnight, we kind of come together and pitch new ideas for these 2-week prototypes.
Another part of fostering creativity is trying new disciplines. There's a lot of people who have done 3D modeling who want to try concept art, but it doesn't really fit our game production schedule to like switch people out of their discipline all the time. But during Amnesia Fortnight, we always say everybody can try anything else they want to try. It just gives someone a chance to figure out, wow, that is what I really like to do. Or else, whew, I am so glad I don't do that for a living, because that was hard.
It's
come Oscar, attenzione, qua ci sono dichiarazioni grosse che volano in chat. Oh, attenzione.
Being in their shoes, you know.
It can be a lot of pressure, but I think overall, I don't think anyone would get rid of it here if you asked them. Did you ask them? Ask them if they want to get rid of it. That's one of your questions. Should we stop it? Because I think they'd say no.
Amnesia Fortnite opens up a sphere of voices that we wouldn't normally hear from.
If you're in the studio, you can pitch. We've even had people from outside of the studio come in and pitch games before.
Everyone gets to participate and everybody's ideas are important, but the really strong ones bubble up to the top and you get to realize them.
Kaiju Pile Driver is a Godzilla-inspired roguelike action game where you control a giant rubber-suited monster destroying corporate cities.
A special helmet allows you to launch his head from his body, fly it around, land into, and take control.
Beh, io
of
l'ho
the
già
robot
detto
bodies of
che,
enemy forces.
finanze permettendo, e inizio ad avere qualche dubbio a riguardo, cercherò di prenderle entrambe le console.
An immersion narrative game where you play a despotic ruler guiding the future of a post-revolution republic.
Gone Astray is a 3D action-adventure game where you play a house cat exploring the outside world.
I was part of a documentary team called Two Player Productions, and in 2012 we partnered with Double Fine on a Kickstarter project to fund not just a video game that they were going to make, but a documentary that we were making about how they make.
Vabbè ragazzi, allora questo è una sorta di documentario su Double Fine, Voglio dire, questa è effettivamente una cosa che non dico che dobbiamo pure fermare, anche perché inizia a farsi tardino.
I was like, I'm going to do it this year. I have no experience developing games at all, and it was already nerve-wracking enough to pitch to these people who we had been observing for so long. I pitched just thinking that I wasn't going to get picked.
It goes to a vote. The studio as a whole will pick one, and then Tim will usually pick one. The public has voted on
Andrea,
The pitch that I
vabbè,
went with was
fanno sempre parte di cose che sarebbero dovute apparire alla GDC, che è un evento per gli sviluppatori, tecnicamente, quindi non sono fantasmagoriche come quelle per i giocatori.
Exactly what I need, just because I have not done this before ever. That's the one that ended up getting picked that year.
And the final one, oh, this can't be right. This breaks a lot of rules. The gods must be hungry.
Infatti queste noi le stiamo guardando perché sono comunque delle cose che vengono presentate, anche se in maniera tecnica, comunque delle informazioni ci sono. Però non è certo una presentazione con fuochi d'artificio.
Everything's great, everything's great. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, this is terrible. I'm the worst creative person ever.
The people who run the projects go from terror to absolute panic. Which is worse, terror or panic? Anyway, they go back and forth in between this.
Then it's madness for 2 weeks.
Vabbè ragazzi, allora è effettivamente una presentazione su Double Fine. Io taglierei perché effettivamente questa se no si fa veramente super lunga, perché è già 1 ora e mezza. Va bene, allora ragazzi, sostanzialmente abbiamo facendo un velocissimo recap, le caratteristiche tecniche erano già state comunicate della Xbox Series X, quindi c'è poco da dire a riguardo. Però una gran bella bestia, e credo che PS5 sarà leggermente inferiore dal punto di vista tecnico, ma io non penso che i giocatori, la maggior parte, ne percepiranno poi una tale differenza. Penso che giocando allo stesso gioco su PS5 o Xbox Series X il feeling sia più o meno simile. Però stanno lanciando anche Project X Cloud, che è quello in streaming, e lì il concetto è praticamente di fungere da servizio che copre tutto quello che non riguarda la console. Io sto giocando a un gioco sulla Xbox, devo uscire, ho un viaggio da fare, ok, sto in treno, gioco allo stesso gioco, no? Però col cellulare, ritorno a casa e ricomincio a giocare con la Xbox. Tutto, cioè, praticamente ti consente di giocare ovunque, in qualunque modo. Questo è quello che credo sia il messaggio principale, e gli sviluppatori hanno molto più margine per fare un po' quello che gli pare. E quindi va bene ragazzi, io direi che ci possiamo salutare qui. Grazie mille per essere stati in live, mi raccomando iscrivetevi se ancora non l'avete fatto. E qui sotto in descrizione ci sono anche i link al mio primo canale, iscrivetevi pure lì, e seguitemi su Twitch, perché tra parentesi andremo in live fra all'incirca una mezz'oretta. Pensavo finisse prima sta presentazione, d'accordo? Quindi mi raccomando iscrivetevi, seguitemi su questo canale che è il secondo canale YouTube, sul primo canale su Twitch. Tutti i link sono qui sotto in descrizione, anche sui social se volete, anche quelli sono in descrizione, anche su Telegram è dove parliamo più spesso. Ok? Bene, io vi ringrazio ragazzi, noi ci becchiamo alla prossima e niente, bella per tutti. per chi vuole, ci vediamo su Twitch fra un pochettino. D'accordo? Bella per tutti ragazzi, grazie ancora.